Our daughter was, heavily addicted to weed, multiple drugs, promiscuity, out till, 5, 6 a.m. Many nights we didn't know where she was at, cutting, suicidal ideations, psych ward, etc. When we got in here almost a year and a half ago, and, we took her through TP, through this process of getting her back on her feet, to a place of being functioning, not resentful of Judaism. She's not, she's still not religious today, but she has no aversion towards it. She comes to the Shabbos meals. She's part of the family. She shows up to everything. She has had a job, multiple jobs, and had a long stint of sobriety. That's kind of giving you the snapshot of where we were at up until this Monday. And I think it's very relevant to the call to TP and certainly to the KIP fund. We shared with Avi on Monday that our daughter had a slip with ketamine. Ketamine was something that she was struggling with. She went through a long stretch of sobriety, culmination of her, definitely her trajectory going light years to where she was before. In conjunction of us planning a wedding for our other daughter, we definitely took our foot off the throttle with, specifically the kip bombs, the trips, the gifts, all of that. We started to take things for granted again. And suffice to say, since Monday, my wife and I have learned this is not a slip. This is a full-blown relapse. In conjunction with all of that, she lost her job as a result of it, without getting into all the nuances of what happened. But the two main parts that, at least for myself, you go into this place of we're supposed to be sharing this incredible success story with it. It's challenging to share, but the challenging part is, you go from a place through this process of TP, Avi, the groups, the families, the parents here. You start off with, for me, a tremendous amount of shame. You walk into this thing, it's a tremendous amount of shame that you walk into when you're struggling with a child like this. And when you're connected through this process, the shame goes away and it gets, the pain that you feel is still there. There's a tremendous amount of pain that you feel, especially when your child does take that step back, but it doesn't result into the shame piece, which is, something that you can live off of and build off of it. And you do see that, despite the fact that our daughter has had this kind of setback, the setback is nowhere near what it used to be. She wants to get clean. She's made the moves, if you want to call it, at least the gestures of wanting to be clean. And we know also what is it that we need to ramp up on. Whereas a year and a half ago, I would say that it's this real feeling of hopelessness. It's hopelessness. It's hiding. It's, kind of we're alone in it. We're embarrassed with it. And now it's, we pulled the foot off the throttle. This was the result of it. It's coming back to the kip bombs, which, understanding that you guys are big, generous donors towards it, it goes massively for these kids. It's huge. This is the medicine. I know to take my daughter on a trip. We're leaving tonight, going on a 4-day trip, which she's excited for. I know a family shared before that, their kid is an anomaly where the kid doesn't want gifts. Our kid was an anomaly too. She didn't want this, she didn't want that. You stay the course with it, eventually it opens up. It's chipping away at a very hard rock, and you can't solve this thing, overnight. It may not take a year. It could take 2 years, 3 years, because you're undoing decades. And, when that opening happens, then the floodgates start. It's just chipping away until you get to that opening. So, again, just very grateful and beyond grateful for Avi,
that on Tuesday we were going to go pick her up from work and take her to go get jewelry for the wedding. And it was just to like amp up our game, to show her we're here, we support, we're here for you. And she gets in the car, and I wasn't even like thinking, should I go? Should I not go? Am I really needed? Should I go? I decided to go last minute and change my afternoon around. And when I get in the car, she's like, guys, you're not going to believe what just happened. I just got laid off from my job. And she sat there for 10 minutes and just told us everything that happened. We were there for her. We held space, we hugged her, we said, you know what, let's go shopping, let's go get you what you need. And it was something so minute. And so we had planned this already. We had no idea what was coming. But the fact that like we had the tools, it's just a matter of having the tools, implementing the tools, knowing what they are, and the results are there, because she didn't collapse and she didn't respond in the way that she usually did. And so it just knowing that her mom and dad were there, and that we care about her and we're there for her, and we didn't judge her and blame her and say it's because of this and because of that. We just said, oh my gosh, this really sucks, I'm so sorry. That was it. And she was able to like process it and took her space, but had us. And so had we not had that call with Avi on Monday, it really could have gone the other way. So I just want to thank Avi for reminding us to like, not lose sight and not lose focus, and always just, but had us. And so had we not had that call with Avi on Monday, it really could have gone the other way. So I just want to thank Avi for reminding us to like, not lose sight and not lose focus, and always just keep it in mind that like, just because she's doing well, we can't forget that these, the gift bombs and the time, the connection, and the really, it's also for her, it's the trips. The trips are so important, because it gets them out of their bed and out of their room and out of their, especially if it's something that works for her. For her, it's literally an IV. It's literally IV.